Greetings, Mavericks and new viewers. Tonight, direct and live from the Maverick News Network World Studios. This is Maverick News with Rick Walker.
Welcome back, everyone. A breaking news story. Just as we were signing off from our regular Maverick News program, we learned upon signing off that the Wall Street Journal has dropped a massive nuclear-sized bombshell on Donald Trump with a breaking news story about a bawdy birthday letter that Trump allegedly sent to Jeffrey Epstein. This is a major development in this scandalous story that continues to haunt the President of the United States. Stay with me. I'll be right back on the other side of this, and we'll start digging into the details of this huge political story out of the United States that frankly could mark a pivotal moment in this scandalous story. This is so significant, I think, at the moment that it could lead to the destruction of the current Trump administration. Stay with me.
Greetings, brave Mavericks. Our quest for truth continues. We go beyond fake news. Together we expose propaganda. Together we pull others out of rabbit holes. We are maverick thinkers. We are all unique individuals, defenders of individual rights and freedoms, credible, trusted, grounded in reality. Maverick News, defending free speech. Donate at freedomreporters.com. Do it now. Tomorrow may be too late. Maverick News. The world is watching.
So I'm back, and I am going to open up the phone lines as well in case anybody wants to weigh in on this tonight. I'm not sure how long we'll be on with this, but I did want to bring this story to you because it is significant, it is breaking, it is fresh, and it was just happening. It was just beginning to make headlines as we were signing off from our regular program. So what do we know? We know this tonight. We know that on this Thursday, July 17th, 2025, just moments ago, the Wall Street Journal dropped this bombshell report alleging that President Donald Trump sent a provocative birthday letter to the late disgraced financier and convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein for his 50th birthday party, or his 50th birthday, back in 2003. So we have the Wall Street Journal article there for you with the headline, Jeffrey Epstein's friends sent him bawdy letters for a 50th birthday album. One was from Donald Trump. So what can I tell you about this? Well, let's dive into this. It's sparking intense debate tonight, denials from the White House, and renewed scrutiny of Trump's past ties to Epstein. So, according to the Wall Street Journal, the letter in question was part of a leather-bound album of birthday messages compiled by Epstein's longtime associate, Ghislaine Maxwell, to mark Epstein's 50th birthday, again in 2003, who was convicted of child sex trafficking in 2021 and is currently serving a 20-year sentence. Reportedly, she reached out to dozens of Epstein's friends and associates, including then real estate mogul Donald Trump, to contribute to the album. The Journal claims it reviewed documents from this album, which were examined by Justice Department officials during their investigations into Epstein and Maxwell years ago. Now, here's where the story takes a turn that's raising eyebrows across the country. The letter bearing President Trump's name is described as bawdy, B-A-W-D-Y, a term that's already trending on social media tonight. It reportedly contains several lines of typewritten text framed by a hand-drawn outline of a naked woman sketched with a heavy marker. And the Journal details that the drawing includes two small arcs representing the woman's breasts, and Trump's signature, a squiggly Donald, is placed below the waist and allegedly resembles pubic hair. The letter concludes with a cryptic message. It says, "Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret." So this is blowing up on social media, and I would say this threatens to blow up the presidency. I'm going to let you guys weigh in on the conversation if you would like to. Our coverage of this will continue. Here's the number to call if you would like to join the conversation tonight. Okay, Mavericks, it's call-in time. Join the conversation. Call 1-647-734-4220. Then enter the PIN number 860-075-764, followed by the pound sign. Exercise your right to free speech. Call 1-647-734-4220. Then enter the PIN number 860-075-764, followed by the pound sign. Call 1-647-734-4220. Then enter the PIN number 860-075-764, followed by the pound sign. Maverick News. Call now. The world is watching and listening to you. Let's put that number up on the screen, scrolling on the bottom, so that you can join this conversation if you would like to. There it is. Call in at 1-647-4220. And we lost our video signal there for a moment. That was strange. Okay, so we're back. 1-647-734-4220. When prompted by the phone system, punch in the PIN number 860-075-764, followed by the pound sign. We are ready to go with the phone system. So if you would like to join while this coverage continues, feel free to dial the number on the bottom of the screen. Again, here's the article from the Wall Street Journal that is blowing up social media and could blow up Donald Trump's presidency. Just what are we, about 6 months in and all of this? All right, let's go to our first caller. And hello, who's on the line with us?
You got the good old dragon on the line, sir.
Hello, Dragon from Montreal. How are you tonight, sir?
Doing great, actually.
Well, I'm glad you called in. I think you're doing better than Mr. Trump tonight, because there is no way he is having a good evening at all with this bombshell being dropped on him. What is your first impression of this? How significant do you think this is?
Well, it sounds like I think that the Republican Party maybe is also having a hard punch in the face with that, because that's going to cost them a lot of trust, I think, in the public. And not only that, Trump is, I think, going down in trust from the public. Did you see last few days when that reporter said ask question about Epstein case, and Trump started to say that we should probably stop asking question about it. People started to burn their merchandise from the MAGA thing. So I mean, all caps and shirt went on fire. For about that. So it's yeah, it's not going to be good at all for Trump.
Yeah, definitely. Division within the MAGA base. This tonight, this really fries him, especially when it looks like he's trying to cover something up. When he was like, "Are you still talking about this? Why is everybody still talking about this?" in that news conference when they were supposed to be talking about the Texas floods, right, and other issues.
Mhm.
But no, people want to know about this because I don't think there is an issue that is more important to the core base of MAGA followers and MAGA faithful than pedophilia and sexual assault, especially the pedophilia. And this Epstein, this is at the center of all of that. And now with this letter, which appears to have been validated through an investigation by the FBI and appearing in this leather bound collection of 50th birthday letter wishes to Epstein, and Trump's in there with this. He's denying it, but it's pretty hard to roll this back at this point because it's in there. It looks like it's authentic.
Right. And at the same time, I mean, do you think that what he was doing with ICE was probably I mean, that's just my opinion, but it was a sort of a smoke screen just to make people probably forget about the Epstein resolution that he was making during the run for his second presidency. And at the end of the day, the public didn't forget about his promise to get the Epstein case under the light. So,
yeah, I think the thing about this letter is that while it doesn't indicate that Trump did anything illegal, what it does is it ties him to Epstein more closely. It illustrates that he had a more extensive relationship or maybe friendship with Epstein than he's been letting on for a long time. So
true. That's true.
And you combine that with his recent statements saying, "Are we still talking about this?" And then trying to paint this as some sort of a hoax and that this is all made up by like Obama, which makes no sense at all. And if it's a hoax, why is Ghislaine Maxwell in prison? Why is she in jail? Why is she serving time? For what? If it's a hoax, if it's not true, if it's all just made up, it just doesn't jive. And now this. So this looks really, really bad. This stinks to high heaven. It's been clear for better part of a week or two that something's really not right with this whole Epstein scandal, the Epstein files. Something's not been right. And this just makes it even worse for Trump.
Well, one of our listener actually on the chat the other day, I think it was yesterday, said something along the way that they remember Trump on The Apprentice calling out Epstein like a good guy and being a good friend of his. And now, like you said, he's trying to he's gone on damage control, basically, trying to say, well, he's not my friend. I don't know this guy that much, which is totally untrue.
Yeah, so this letter bearing his name, described again as body, and then it's sort of, I haven't seen the letter, but I guess it's sort of all written in a shape to create like the image or the outline of a naked woman. And it's sketched with like a heavy marker, a Sharpie, ruling with a Sharpie, or maybe destroying his presidency, in this case back in 2003. And the Wall Street Journal details that this drawing includes two small arcs that look like like the woman's breasts in this image, and then Trump's signature is this squiggly Donald, and it's supposed to look like, pubic hair, and then this message dragon: happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret, which would suggest that Trump knows what the secrets are and he's laughing about it or making light of it, or just participating in the keeping of whatever these secrets are, which is pretty gross and disgusting in itself.
Yeah, well, if those secrets are sexually related, if I can put it this way, yeah, it is disgusting. And basically, Trump is in the know.
Unbelievable. So this is truly a bombshell. I mean, yeah, you're hearing this right, folks. It's a birthday letter, allegedly from Donald Trump to Jeffrey Epstein, featuring this suggestive drawing and a message that some are calling enigmatic, others are calling incriminating, but there's more inside this drawing. The letter reportedly includes a typewritten imaginary conversation between Trump and Epstein, written in the third person. So let me read you a portion of what the Wall Street Journal published. So here it is. There must be more to life than having everything. Donald says, yes, there is, but I won't tell you what it is. Jeffrey, nor will I, since I also know what it is. Donald, we have certain things in common, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, yes, we do, come to think of it. Donald, enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? And then Jeffrey says, as a matter of fact, it was clear to me the last time I saw you. Donald says, in the birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret. So that's the text reported by the Wall Street Journal, and it's already sparking this firestorm of reactions online. It's resonating all through the U.S., maybe even around the world. But here's where the story gets even more complex, Dragon and viewers. President Trump is vehemently denying writing this letter or drawing the image. In an interview with the Journal Tuesday night, Trump called the story a fake thing and a fake Wall Street Journal story. And he stated, and I quote, I never wrote a picture in my life. I don't draw pictures of women. It's not my language. It's not my words. And he went further, threatening legal action. He's threatening legal action against the Wall Street Journal tonight, its parent company, News Corp, and even its chairman, emeritus, Rupert Murdoch, if the story was published. So he contacted the WSJ and apparently was threatening them with a lawsuit, trying to spike this story. He did not want this thing published. He did not want this to happen, but they've gone ahead and they've done it anyway. And Trump reportedly told the Journal, quote, I'm going to sue the Wall Street Journal just like I sued everyone else. Do you think he will, Dragon?
Yeah.
Probably will, maybe. I don't know. Probably.
Don't think he will sue them, but that's what he does. I remember times in The Apprentice and even before that, every time you were saying something against him that would hurt his feeling, and probably even more than that, well, he would sue you just because, it is the only way for him to probably not lose too many money to a certain extent. I mean, controversy always been his thing, right?
Yes. Let's take a little break here. I've got a bunch of messages. My phone's blowing up because of this. So let me take a little break. Stay with me, Dragon. Stay with me, viewers. We're going to come back on the other side and our coverage of this breaking news story, this bombshell birthday letter from Donald Trump to Jeffrey Epstein, adult in nature, surfacing and I would say threatening the presidency of the United States of America.
Someone very profoundly once said many years ago that if fascism ever comes to America, it'll come in the name of liberalism.
Well, I think it's time we ask ourselves if we still know the freedoms that were intended for us by the Founding Fathers. If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on Earth.
The entire world is watching.
Every dictator, every crazy dictator in the world is watching. The world is watching. On TV.
The entire world is watching.
On social media.
But the entire world is watching, and yes, they are seeing what we have apparently bravely been willing to say that others are thinking.
Stand for freedom. Literally stand for freedom. Let's get this done. The entire world is watching.
We're at war with the most dangerous enemy that has ever faced mankind in his long climb from the swamp to the stars.
Maverick News. Maverick News. Maverick News.
Let me have more control of my own destiny.
The world is watching.
We are back, and yeah, social media blowing up over this. Let's do a little Twitter scroll on this, shall we? Let's see what's going on over on X, because that seems to be the hotbed of activity when it comes to this particular story. See if we've got much going on here. I'm surprised that's not on there. I'm looking for the latest on this. Okay, so Trump Epstein.
Twitter is blowing up.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure that it is. Okay, let's take a look here. Present this on screen, bring up X. There it is. What do we have here? The Lincoln Project. Oh, yes. Trump doesn't want you to read this full story here. There it is. Wall Street Journal, Politics, Trump. So there, Lincoln Project, that's Rick Wilson and clan. And here it is, Wall Street Journal, exclusive for Jeffrey Epstein's 50th birthday. Friends created a book of body letters. One was from Donald Trump. We showed you that Keith Olbermann, also not a Trump fan. WSJ, may every day be another wonderful secret. This soon-to-be ex-president. Yeah, well, you know, it may be that serious. This could cost Trump the presidency. You cannot govern, even if you have like huge amounts of power. If you don't have the support of the people, you can't govern effectively, even if you have been elected. Turnbull says, apparently the Wall Street Journal is about to drop a story. Yes, indeed they have. So that's actually, this is 2 hours ago, so leading up to it. And somebody here saying, I hope he does. He should sue the shit out of them. From Cali Eagles Flying. If Trump sues, the WSJ could demand materials related to his interactions with Epstein, the letter, or other relevant communications. This could include emails, financial records, or testimony from Trump associates, potentially exposing sensitive information about his past. So people are calling for Trump to sue the Wall Street Journal so that when they get disclosure on the evidence, they'll have to release more files and possibly incriminate Trump in something, which is what they're hoping for, and others. Sean Caston says, like all things Trump, this is simultaneously disgusting and entirely unsurprising. He's exactly who we always understood him to be. And it says here, pages from the leather-bound album assembled before Epstein was first arrested in 2006 are among the documents examined by Justice Department officials who investigated Epstein and Maxwell years ago, according to people who have reviewed the pages. It's unclear if any of the pages are part of the Trump administration's recent review. The president's past relationship with Epstein is at a sensitive moment. The Justice Department documents, the so-called Epstein files, and who or what is in them are at the center of a storm consuming the Trump administration. On Wednesday, after angry comments about how the files are a hoax created by Democrats, President Trump lashed out at his own supporters, he did, for refusing to let the matter go. The letter bearing Trump's name, which was reviewed by the journal as body, like others in the album. It contains several lines of typewritten text framed by the outline of a naked woman, which appears to be hand-drawn with a heavy marker. A pair of small arcs denotes the woman's breasts, and the future president's signature is a squiggly Donald below her waist, mimicking pubic hair. The letter concludes, "Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret." Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
That's wow. Yeah. I got no word for this, my friend.
Yeah. So Seth Abramson says, everyone in America needs to read this free. I've gifted it below. Report from the conservative Wall Street Journal about Trump and Epstein. Apparently, the president has now threatened to sue the WSJ over this 100% accurate report due to how damaging it is. We have another call coming in. Let's see who's on the line with us tonight. Hello, who's on the line?
It's Joe.
Hey, Joseph Leonard from Detours, our American friend. So, are you up to speed at all on what's going on with Trump and this Wall Street Journal story, or are you just beginning to absorb the information?
I'm just beginning to absorb it. I've been dealing with issues with my book that's supposed to drop August 4th, problems with Amazon. So I've been kind of out of the loop all day on things.
Yeah. Well, this is just breaking, man. This was just like so fresh. Like I was signing off from the program and a text message came in, and then I looked, and indeed, Donald Trump tonight, Joe, is just to bring you up to speed in case you haven't heard, they have they've seen this letter that allegedly Trump wrote and was reviewed by the FBI. It's in a leather-bound book of a bunch of birthday letters that people, friends of Jeffrey Epstein, sent to the late financier and sexual predator. And it's all birthday greetings for his 50th birthday. And in this letter, Donald Trump has, it's sort of like the words that he writes in this, in like a dark marker, create the image of basically a naked woman. And the words also, there's a thing that makes like the shape of the breasts. And then his signature is a squiggly Donald Trump to resemble pubic hair. And I've been reading some excerpts from this brief letter that he wrote. And it's very, as they say, body, which is to say adult in nature. And
well, that's if indeed it is real.
That is,
I heard Mike on, not Mike Gallagher show, was it? Maybe it was Mike Gallagher's show. Some leftist called in. Oh, you saw the picture, right, of Epstein and Clinton and Justice Roberts all in the water off the pedo island. It's like, in this day and age of deep fakes, so the host says to him, "Can you send it to me?" "Oh no, I don't got it. They scrubbed it." It's hard to know what's real, what's fake, and that's why with the whole Epstein thing, I can buy that there isn't a client list. I can buy that he didn't officially keep one. There isn't one on his computer in a folder called clients in an Excel spreadsheet. I can accept that even after what Pam Bondi, the idiot, said. But we do know for sure he has contacts in his phone that they would have. And you don't want to release that, of course, because just because someone's a contact in someone's phone doesn't make them a pedophile client. So say that, though. You keep digging this hole with the stupid, I've been in politics since 1978, but you're supposedly surrounded with the best and the brightest and all these high-powered attorneys, and you morons cannot think to say what I just said. The last thing is the flight logs. Okay, I can get some things are a national security issue. You don't want to release the stuff. It's not going to come out for 50 or 75 years. I can buy that. I can accept that. What I cannot accept then is we all know the flight logs are real, and there are all kinds of deep fake copies of supposed flight logs going around. So clear that up. I don't want them transcribed. I want someone to literally, physically scan each flight log page and put it up on the FBI.gov site. So these are the real, redact phone numbers, redact addresses, redact any of the young girls who would have been on a flight or whatever, but no redacting of Bill Clinton that we would know was on flights many times because the Secret Service whistleblowers said he ditched them because he didn't want law enforcement around when he knew he was going to commit criminal acts. So put on the flight logs. You got to give us something that is real, something that is in evidence, something, give us something, and then we can say, I don't buy this other crap. It's all deep fake garbage. But you've got to give us something that is definitive and on the FBI site that you'll stake your life on this is the real stuff.
So I think the FBI said that they had this in their possession. They reviewed the material. It's part of a collection of letters from people who knew Epstein at the time, but you're not ready to accept this as bona fide evidence at this point?
Let me put it to you this way, my friend. Yeah. And what I'm about to say is going to make perfect sense.
Okay.
For 4 years, Biden and crew were engaged in endless lawfare against Donald Trump. And if they had this and were sitting on it, they would have leaked it before the election, not now. This is bogus. If it were real, it would have come out ages ago. It's like Donald Trump has been on Epstein planes. Absolutely, positively, unequivocally, undeniable. There was a time when the Trump plane was out for maintenance. He took an Epstein flight from Atlanta to New York. These movers and shakers, these millionaires, these billionaires, these celebrities, plane share like anyone would ride share to a concert all the time. It saves them money by sharing planes. But again, this was all long before Trump. Epstein hit on one of the girls at Mar-a-Lago, and he banned him from all the properties. That's why any legitimate photo you see of Trump and Epstein, and there are some, are from 4, 5 decades ago when they were rubbing elbows at millionaire, billionaire parties, and everyone's snoozing and getting pictures with each other and whatnot. But you don't see any more modern pictures of the two of them together because he's the only one who banned Epstein from his properties.
Is it not also possible that the reason, let's say, if the letter is legitimate, that the reason the Democrats didn't release it is because if they released that, it might result in the release of other evidence, which might implicate other people, which might be a big problem for some other powerful people as well?
Yeah, well, that begs the question then, well, if you're doing it now, is this a suicide pact? Okay, fine. If this is supposedly legit, let's see all that other stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see if the pictures of Schumer with young girls are indeed all real. I voice it all. You know, what's real, what's fake, voice it then. Fine, you want to play this game? Let's go.
So here is what has been posted by Trump within the hour. Okay, so 1 hour ago, he posts this. The Wall Street Journal and Rupert Murdoch personally were warned directly by President Donald J. Trump, and this is on Truth Social, on Trump's account, by President Donald J. Trump, that the supposed letter they printed by President Trump to Epstein was a fake. And if they print it, they will be sued. Mr. Murdoch stated that he would take care of it, but obviously did not have the power to do so. The editor of the Wall Street Journal, Emma Tucker, was told directly by Caroline Leavitt and by President Trump that the letter was a fake. But Emma Tucker didn't want to hear that. Instead, they are going with a false, malicious, and defamatory story anyway. President Trump will be suing the Wall Street Journal, News Corp, and Mr. Murdoch shortly. The press has to learn to be truthful and not rely on sources that probably don't even exist. President Trump has already beaten George Stephanopoulos, ABC, 60 Minutes, CBS, and others, and looks forward to suing and holding accountable the once great Wall Street Journal. It has truly turned out to be a disgusting and filthy rag, and writing defamatory lies like this shows their desperation to remain relevant. If there were any truth at all on the Epstein hoax as it pertains to President Trump, this information would have been revealed by Comey, Brennan, Crooked Hillary, and other radical left lunatics years ago. It certainly would not have sat in a file waiting for Trump to have won 3 elections. Okay, this is yet another example of fake news.
No, I buy that part. I do buy that part, and that's part of the problem here. I forget who it was. I was just talking with somebody yesterday. The National Enquirer is turning out to be a far more superior and legitimate organization than these supposed news journalism outlets that nothing but rags these days. I buy something more from the National Enquirer than I would out of this. And again, in this day and age of deep fakes, that's the problem. And that's why, and I've been criticizing Trump these last few days, and I've definitely been calling out, I call her Blondie, right? You remember Debbie Harry, Blondie, Pam Blondie instead of Bondi, because she's too busy glamming for the cameras to do any actual real work. But, that's why we need them to put the legitimate stuff up on the website. You can't trust the news outlets to report if you release it. You need to put it up on the website where we can all go and see whatever it is for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Well, can I put you something to look for yourself, right, real quick?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Because on Twitter, I'm going to put you something to look for yourself if you want, real quick.
Okay, sure.
Because I see 2 feeds on Twitter, different from JD Vance. On 2021, December 30, JD Vance states on Twitter, if you're a journalist and you're not asking questions about this case, you should be ashamed of yourself. What purpose do you even serve? I'm sure there's a middle-class teenager somewhere who could use some harassing right now, but maybe try to do your job once in a while. That's JD Vance in 2021. An hour ago, JD Vance goes on Twitter and say, forgive my language, but this story is complete utter BS. the Wall Street Journal should be ashamed for publishing it. Where is this letter? Should we be shocked to learn they never showed it to us before publishing it? Does anyone honestly believe this sounds like Donald Trump? Question mark.
Yeah, I think I have them up here, Dragon. I think I found them. So yeah, you're right. It says, "Forgive my language."
Yeah. Well,
But this story
again,
is
you
complete
won't
and utter
get me. Yeah, you won't get me completely defending Donald Trump on this. I have been one of the ones vocal about this. Calling it the Epstein hoax now is ridiculous. It's one of his idiotic, moronic, 6-year-old temper tantrum style stuff. Part of it, what he means is a hoax. Like this is a hoax, but the whole he's when he says something stupid like that, it's not like the Russian collusion delusion. Pedo Island existed, and a lot of people were there. And I still don't buy, I'm sorry, that he killed himself, even though they keep saying he did. So I'm never been a rah, 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 Trump, 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 whatever Trump says, and I'm with him 1,000%. You know that. He allows the other side ammunition when he says something stupid like, oh, it's the Epstein hoax, like he's trying to dismiss the whole thing. And that's, of course, not what he's trying to do, but you've got to be smarter than that. I mean, you're supposedly, again, surrounded by these people that are such high-paid political powerhouses and high-powered multi-billion-dollar attorneys, and you can't figure this stuff out.
This is nasty stuff, man. This is, I think, Joseph, this is nuclear. This is more kryptonite for Super Trump. This is bad news, man.
It is.
Yeah. This is not going away.
Can I ask Joseph a question?
Sure.
Well, do you think
Dragon.
that if it is proven that Trump has something to do with Epstein, do you think that he could be indicted and lose his presidency?
No. The only way to do it, you cannot charge a sitting president. The remedy is impeachment. And if impeached and removed from office, which of course is never, ever happening, from now to eternity, the Senate will never, ever be comprised of 2/3 majority of one party or the other to remove a seated president of the other party. It's never, never, ever gonna happen. And lots of literally, like Trump joked the one time, I could go out on 6th Avenue and shoot somebody and get away with it, right? And lots of you see that, and it's like shown live on camera, and everybody sees it, everybody knows it. And even then, again, people will say, oh, that's all deep fake. I mean, look, all these years past 9/11 and the 9/11 truther stuff about, oh, it's all deep fake, it's all false flag, it's all this, it's all that, it's like, you're never going to convince people of these things in order to do that. So you're never going to remove him. But what would it take? Let me go at it from this. What would it take for me to believe this? That's part of the problem. I don't trust any of these people as far as I could throw them to buy any evidence that wouldn't supposedly be a deep fake and manufactured purely for a smear and hit job. And it works both ways. Both parties now, of course, claim it. Trump has been the one who famously coined the fake news adage, but you got all kinds of people on the left. I mean, I literally could be watching C-SPAN and see Adam Schiff say something on the floor that he should be impeached and removed for. And all the Russian collusion stuff. He lied. We need to get him on perjury for all the lies he told about the Russian collusion hoaxes. And, but anytime anything is shown, they'll claim deepfake too.
Well, this is nasty stuff. So
we are living in the most weird and yet wonderful times in a sense. You know what I mean? Never before in the course of human history have people had at their fingertips the ability to get at facts. Conversely, never before in the course of human history have people had at their fingertips the ability to feed their delusions.
So also within the hour, this is the most recent post on Truth Social from President Trump. He says here, based on the ridiculous amount of publicity given to Jeffrey Epstein, I have asked Attorney General Pam Bondi to produce any and all pertinent grand jury testimony subject to court approval. This scam perpetuated by the Democrats should end right now. Now, guys, let's take a little break. Stay with me. We'll come back on the other side and continue with our conversation.
I'm glad you mentioned the court. I want to touch on that.
All right, we'll do that on the other side of this. Hang on, stay with us.
Greetings, brave mavericks. Our quest for truth continues. We go beyond fake news. Together we expose propaganda. Together we pull others out of rabbit holes. We are maverick thinkers. We are all unique individuals, defenders of individual rights and freedoms, credible, trusted, grounded in reality. Maverick News, Maverick News. Defending free speech, Donate at freedomreporters.com. Do it now. Tomorrow may be too late. Maverick News. The world is watching.
Okay, we are back, and we have Dragon from Montreal and Joseph Leonard from Detroit. And we are still talking about this bombshell report from the Wall Street Journal releasing this alleged letter from Donald Trump, a birthday greeting, body in content, adult in nature, with a squiggly signature that looks like it's pubic hair as part of a larger image of a naked woman created with the words that were written with a marker, allegedly by Donald Trump, as part of a collection of birthday greetings from various friends of Jeffrey Epstein on his 50th birthday back in 2003. And Joseph, you said you wanted to comment on the legal situation.
The courts. And thank you for giving me the heads up on this, because like I said, I've been busy with my book and problems with Amazon so that it can drop August 1st. So I've been out of the loop on all of this stuff. But the courts is an important thing to mention. Chief Justice Rob Turds is a problem. I've often thought somebody's got something on him and then been blackmailing him. But him aside, the issue here is a lot of lower courts, we've got to remember, have been dealing with Epstein for a couple decades now. And those courts have ordered much of the evidence and other things regarding the case sealed. So they're not, by court order, you can't release that. So we need an emergency appeals to the SCOTUS, and if Rob Turge is indeed compromised, it won't do any good. But we need SCOTUS to be able to overturn the lower courts' sealing of these records so that some of these records that were entered into evidence in the courts and is in the system to be able to be, as I said, put on the FBI site and released. But people are forgetting that. It's the courts that have demanded and ordered these things cannot be released. It's not Trump saying it. It's not Bondi saying it. And let me even defend Biden. It wasn't Biden or Comey, or Brennan or any of them either. It was courts that were likely compromised or protecting others who were compromised by sealing these records.
So, any other thoughts there, Dragon?
Well, my thought is right now that while Trump's is I think in deep water, because however the people want the system to work the way it should be or the way they want to work the way they want it, people want those files to be released, names to be told, and I think that we're probably again having a certain frustration of the U.S. population that might grow a little bit even more heated, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Well, he might
before we go any further,
go ahead, Joe.
Before we go any further on this, I want to make sure to say on my TV, it's Toronto Argonauts 0 and Montreal Alouettes 0 because I'm joining it in progress. So no spoilers, folks.
Yeah, well, the White House is in full damage control mode. We're also seeing that sources are telling Variety that the Trump administration attempted to block the publication of this article by threatening legal action before it went live this afternoon. And Vice President J.D. Vance also weighed in, as Dragon so rightly pointed out, taking to social media on X, calling the story, quote, complete and utter bull s crap. Here's Don.
You know, I used the term with the Superman movie the other day.
Sorry, Joseph. Hang on a sec. John, yeah, we are. But if you want to call in, call the number on the screen.
Okay, bro.
Okay. Bye.
Somebody call you on your other line.
Yeah.
It's like a Rorschach test, right? A lot of things. People are so biased, are so set in their ways on something, you know, the TDS, and there was to a degree a Biden derangement syndrome too. If you can't think of something Biden said or did that you can't agree with him with, you suffered BDS every bit as much as these leftards suffer TDS. And I forgot the Rorschach test thing, right? They hate Trump, so they're going to believe it. And there are indeed also Trump cultists. They piss me off every bit as much as those with TDS. Both is an unprincipled position. It's emotional hysterics, not logic and reason. So you've got people with TDS, oh yeah, this got to be true. And you got people that are in the Trump cult, oh no, it can't possibly be true. I'd like to get to the bottom of it, but there's so much indeed BS out there. I don't know what to believe in this stuff anymore.
That's the big problem today. AI and propaganda and polarization and political opinion and emotions and fake stories, real stories. Who the heck knows what's real anymore? It's just almost impossible to know.
You know, that's the thing. Sometime on the chat on Rumble, Rick, what I do is when people calls you TDS or something along these ways, sometimes on the TDS I use the argument that TDS actually is a made up word. So basically, you're getting emotional on something that is completely made up because of an event that has happened. So people goes around that, and I mean, I can see the frustration going on, and it's sad to see that the people are so much involved emotionally that we need probably to just take a little step behind and look at things with a observatory eyes, I think.
Well, if you kind of step back and kind of try to put this thing into context, this story doesn't exist in a vacuum. The timing couldn't be more sensitive. The Trump administration already grappling with fallout from last week's Justice Department memo, which concluded that Jeffrey Epstein died by suicide in his Manhattan jail back in 2019, and that there's now no client list of Epstein associates. And so this thing has been like building and building, and this conclusion has infuriated, parts of Trump's MAGA base. And they expected the administration to release a trove of documents, right?
Yeah, put me on that list, Rick.
Yeah.
I got a thought for a few weeks now with all that. Well, actually for the last week. And the thought is that what if Trump, how Trump always exaggerate everything, right, guys? And we all know that.
Yeah.
And Trump, long time ago, started to exaggerate with a list, But say that in the world of history of our mankind, there were never been any list at all. But Trump made up the story of a list. And everyone started I want to see the list of all those kids that was abused or whatnot. And then you get all that ramp up polarization of that list, and then learn that this list doesn't exist. But now everyone wants to see the list that never existed in the first place.
I know.
Right, I agree with you, Dragon, and I think that is indeed the point. I think a list probably existed in Epstein's head to a degree, but again, whether there was an official one on a hard drive in a folder called client list and a spreadsheet with all the names and numbers, I again believe that could indeed be fabrication, as you said, Dragon, and exaggeration, because you're right. Trump is gross exaggerator in chief far too many times. And, it's political speech. Hyperbole has always been a part of political speech. But again, never before has the nation or the entire planet, seemingly, left-right divide, been so polarized the way we are today.
Is that you on the line there, John? Did you just
controversy makes money?
John from Alberta, is that you?
Yeah, it's Rimby John. How you guys doing? Missed you, Joseph. How you doing, bro? How you doing, Dragon?
Hey, John.
Yeah, we survived the Calgary Stampede, Joseph.
A one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest these days, my friend, is, the response. So that's why I haven't been around talking to Rick very much.
So let's try to keep her focused here, John, and tell me, are you up to speed on what's going on with this Trump Epstein story tonight, which is why we're on?
No, a little bit. I apologize. I've been moving tonight, and I just kind of got your text. There was a call in, so can you give me the 2-minute Reader's Digest?
So here's the deal. Wall Street Journal drops this bombshell story just as I'm signing off from the program. So I get some texts from people, and what the story is they have, I guess, been given access or obtained access somehow to this letter that Donald Trump allegedly wrote to Jeffrey Epstein, wishing him a happy 50th birthday back in 2003. The letter is part of a collection of letters from Epstein's friends, all put together in a leather-bound portfolio of some kind, right? So it's all letters saying, happy birthday, Jeffrey Epstein. The Trump letter is sort of adult in nature, not sort of, it is very adult in nature. The words are written in a way that it creates the silhouette or outline of a naked woman, including the breasts, and then the signature is all squiggly, is what we're told by the Wall Street Journal, and and the squiggly signature resembles pubic hair. And then there are these words that I'd have to bring them back up here to get you exactly what was said. Here it is. He signs this thing off. He says, Donald says, a pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday. And may every day be another wonderful secret. So
what year was this supposedly, Rick?
I'm sorry, what's that?
The time frame of this matters because we all know Trump used to be very much a serial cheater, a playboy in nature.
True.
He cheated on all of his wives before Melania.
Yep.
I mean, Melania herself wasn't a cheat on a prior wife because she wouldn't allow it, not for his lack of not wanting to have her be a mistress to his last wife. So the time frame here matters. What year was this? This does matter in my mind a bit as to understand if it fits his past mindset or his more present, a little more, becoming a better, hopefully, Christian like Russell Brand is.
Okay, but
so the time frame matters.
Well, it does, but also what matters is Trump saying repeatedly for the past, well, I don't know how many years now, certainly since becoming a politician, that he didn't really like Jeffrey Epstein, didn't really know him all that well, banned him from his properties. But then this letter shows that he had a closer relationship with Epstein than he has been letting on. He has a more, a bigger connection to him, right?
If true, yes.
If true.
That's what they want to imply, obviously.
Yeah, well, that is the problem for Donald Trump right now. And I would say a lot of people are probably sitting back believing this. And is it true? I guess you have to find some way to verify this. So that's the Reader's Digest version of the story tonight. And that really encapsulates the main points of it, John. So what is your initial reaction from way out there in Alberta?
Kind of, Rick, where there's smoke, there's kind of fire, right?
Maybe.
Allegedly.
Well, I don't know. Is there or isn't there? That's the question.
I think this is very serious. I think that this is because I think it has been reviewed by the FBI. It is part of a collection. It is. It's coming from the Wall Street Journal, not from some. It's a fair. This is a fairly credible story, I would say, but it doesn't prove or it doesn't incriminate Trump for anything. It doesn't show that he's done anything illegal, but it does show a closer relationship if true.
That's true. And you know what I'm fearing right now is that on the social media, everyone will try to, it makes me think about the same thing that happened in Canada when we had this interference in our election system or in our system where you had probably other guys. You want the name. You want the name. Well, people on social media and now mostly Americans will want some names if they think, I'm sure they will still think that there's a list somewhere and they will like to see the list.
Oh man,
Well, guys, are there any fingerprints on this from Elon Musk? Because he's been dropping a few bombshells about Trump and Epstein because he's involved in the whole private dose thing. Can you imagine the information?
In the past day alone, Elon Musk has posted some 35 times saying that Trump is covering something up. So he's convinced.
That's a good interjection here. I wouldn't have thought to interject that. That's a key important thing here. Elon, I have never thought of as a stable person. I've never been a fan because of the EV mandates that he supported and the EV subsidies. And, the dose stuff is great, but you got to take the good and the bad. Isn't that true of a lot of geniuses, though? They seem to have some screws loose.
Well, but he has had access to more government documents than probably any person on the planet. So if there's somebody who probably knows something, it would be Elon Musk, wouldn't you think? Since he did have access to just about all the computer records that the government has.
Well, secret stuff too, Rick.
Yes,
that nobody else has seen.
It's like I think Trump might have screwed himself by giving Elon Musk access to all the government computer servers. Now he knows everything about everybody.
Well,
he's got a problem now.
Sometimes crazy people does sometimes mistake and put themselves into, say, they put their feet into the cement.
Yeah, they stepped in a great big pile of crap. So here's Attorney General Pam Bondi tonight on Truth Social posting, President Trump, we are ready to move to the court tomorrow to unseal the grand jury transcripts. And Trump says, based on the ridiculous amount of publicity, I already read this here. So he has directed Pam Bondi to produce any and all pertinent grand jury testimony subject to court approval. He says this scam perpetrated by the Democrats should end right now. So Trump's still saying that this is all a hoax. It's all a fabrication, all created a fiction by the Democrats. Are you buying that? I'm finding that hard to believe.
Well, that does probably round up the case with the crazy case person, because look, you're the one who's making the case first before even that you're entering into a race with the Democrat, and then you start to call the Democrat bullshit, if you will. I'm sorry, but the scam, sorry. Yeah. So if you call that a Democrat scam when you're the one who's calling the shot, I'm sorry, but now you're losing me, Trump.
So the Wall Street Journal claims that it reviewed the documents from the album of this collection of letters, and they say that they were examined by the Justice Department officials during their investigation into Epstein and Maxwell years ago. And now this is where it all gets, pretty weird again, because Trump is, the letter bearing Trump's name is described as body, and that's a term that's trending on social media tonight. And it contains several lines of this typewritten text, and it creates this outline of the naked woman. And again, the Wall Street Journal saying that this letter has been examined by investigators. So they're saying that it's now, I guess being examined by the investigators doesn't necessarily prove its authenticity. They're not saying
supposedly 51 intelligence officers said the Hunter Biden laptop was all gold too.
No.
Rick, everything goes back to the CIA, Dragon and Leonard,
Yes,
not the Dems. It goes back to the CIA boys and girls.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, obviously you need to drag Mossad in on this, all this, because of the discussion of Epstein being dual agent for Mossad and CIA. Yeah, again, it's the sign of our times with all this conspiracy stuff that people want to leap to so many conclusions based on their personal bias. So I love you all. Take care. God bless. I'm going to drop off.
Okay, Joseph, thank you for calling in tonight. I appreciate you, adding to the conversation as always. Very valued. Thank you.
Hey,
Well, nice to
Joseph,
have
we
a
love
panel with you, Joseph.
we love you from Western Canada, Joseph. We love you from Alberta, man. Got to come up sometime to the Calgary Stampede, bro.
So anyway, yeah. So, there's a picture of, there's a meme. Jeffrey Epstein says, release the files in this picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, guys, there might be a lot more truth to this than one realizes. You know,
guys, I think Donald Trump is in a lot of trouble because this is just blowing MAGA apart.
He's been in trouble before, guys. He's like John Gotti, Teflon Trumper.
Not like this. This is different. This is different. He's in trouble. Yep. Because it's the pedophilia that's at the core of the MAGA belief system. The ideology, maybe not the ideology, but the faith, right? That's what's at the very center of it all. And it just enrages the MAGA faithful. And so any hint of impropriety, of implication in any way, or even even any doubt about Trump's integrity with regard to this issue, and any sense that he might be hiding something, is just like I said yesterday, this is Trump's kryptonite. This is what can destroy him.
This is where people's trying to, I think, where the media is trying to steer, I think the emotion of the people is where we're speaking about children's abuse, right? And to everyone, this is a hot topic. Let's put it this way. It's a hot topic. No one's want to hear about that. And this is a cringe subject, if you can put it this way. So this is where people are steered to the point where they want to know everything because this is a disgusting subject.
Yeah, and the other problem that he's going to run into, and he's creating the problem himself, really, is that, he posted on social media saying that he didn't want the support of some of the key MAGA people that have been around him, some of the most powerful, that he made powerful, people like, Dan Bongino and others who he said have fallen for the Epstein hoax, hook, line, and sinker. So he doesn't need them, doesn't want their support anymore. That was 2 days ago.
Rick and Dragon, was Trump ever on the Lolita jet?
Apparently he was, but whether he went to the island, that's another question. And did he do anything illegal? That's the other question, right?
Yeah. I could be on a party with some Hells Angels having some few beers and have some fun without being part of their criminal activities, right?
Mm-hmm.
That would not make me look good, but you see the point?
This one's
well,
nasty.
Alan Dershowitz sure runs a lot of cover for Epstein.
It's
the lawyer Alan Dershowitz. He was on the old Lolita jet, I think.
He's named. He certainly is. Claims he's innocent of everything, of course, but until we get more information out there, I don't know who's innocent, who isn't, who's guilty, if anything. Who knows?
Well, this might be a big bump in the road, the first big bump for the Trump administration, guys.
Well, they've had some little bumps, but no, this is big. This could blow his presidency apart, man. If there's any validity to any of this, then he's in deep crap. And even if it is just like made up stuff, it's still toxic. It's toxic for him. This to be just any hint of this on him, it just stinks to high heaven, and a lot of his supporters are just not buying it. So, or tolerating it.
The other thing, guys, is for the last month or so, Trump has kind of poo-pooed all of this Epstein stuff coming out. And is there a little smoke and fire there too?
Oh, well, that's the thing. It's like he looks like he's trying to suppress this by saying, just move on, nothing to see here. Don't worry about it. It's all made up. And now it's a hoax. But this is the thing. That doesn't jive. How can it be a hoax if Ghislaine Maxwell is in jail, right? She's serving time. For what then? If it's all just a hoax, if it's all made up. So now that's injustice. That's why in today's news conference at the White House with Caroline Leavitt, there was a reporter who shouted something like, I'm paraphrasing a bit, but they said, will Ghislaine Maxwell be released since this is now being, now that it's just determined that it's a hoax? And then the question wasn't answered. Another reporter, because that reporter wasn't actually called on by Leavitt, but that was shouted out in the middle of the news conference today. This ain't going away.
Well,
man.
That Maxwell lady.
Oh, go ahead, John. I'll go ahead.
Maxwell Ghislaine, I think she's maybe right on the edge of starting to chirp like a canary, guys, of some of the reports I've been seeing about her. I don't know if it's true or not.
So for those of you just tuning in, we're covering the explosive Wall Street Journal report claiming that President Trump sent a suggested birthday letter to Jeffrey Epstein in 2003. So let's take a look at the broader picture here. Trump and Epstein were known to have socialized in the 1990s and early 2000s. Many photos showing them together at events like those at Trump's Mar-a-Lago Club in Palm Beach. Trump has acknowledged their acquaintance, once calling Epstein a terrific guy in a 2002 interview, but he's also distanced himself, claiming their friendship ended before Epstein's 2008 guilty plea for soliciting prostitution from a minor. Trump has called Epstein a creep in recent comments and urged his supporters to move on from the Epstein saga, even dismissing calls for more transparency as a Democratic hoax. So I don't know if you guys are buying that or not, but that for me doesn't jive. That's him, trying to duck and cover in the fetal position.
Trump just looking, there's a duck and cover.
I just have a feeling that Elon Musk has got his finger in the pie here somewhere.
Well, I don't know that Elon Musk is orchestrating this, but he is certainly adding fuel to the fire with all these social media posts calling Trump out on this, saying that it appears he's hiding something. And I think that is really where you're finding that, John, if you're looking for fire where there might be smoke, it might be right there, because Musk was joined at the hip for a while to Trump. $270 million he invested in the campaign. He was instrumental in getting him elected for the second time, second time, and access to all kinds of information through computer records and everything else, and intimately connected to Trump through his dealings in the White House. I mean, practically, he was practically the president for a while, with kind of, you can almost see the puppet strings on Trump, but not so much anymore. Now the two have drifted apart, and Elon Musk attacking him over this Epstein issue.
That's the thing. Musk right now will actually trigger the pulls of the puppet master, if you will, of the algorithm against Trump. because he's the master of the algorithm as the
That's right.
owner.
Yeah, he
So-
may be sitting in a room right now at a computer keyboard adjusting the algorithms to push all the Epstein stuff up to the top so everybody's seeing it to make life worse for his now political
That's
adversary.
That's it.
But guys, I still cannot. I'm still in disbelief, godsmacked, how long the Trump Musk bromance lasted with two alpha dogs in the White House. I can't believe it lasted as long as it did before it blew up.
Well,
Wow.
it lasts longer than a luxury old night.
Oh man, let's go over here and just do another little Twitter scroll. Dragon was pointing out the inconsistency in the statements from JD Vance over time. And oops, I need to bring you guys back on the screen here. Oh, you are there. Okay. So I need to come here.
Yeah, what is JD Vance trying to cover up?
Oh man, they are in damage
The only
control
thing,
mode.
Dragon, the only thing JD Vance is covering up is his black eyeliner there, my friend.
Here he is.
Seriously, we need to release the Epstein list. Seriously, we need to release the Epstein list. Seriously, we need to release the Epstein list.
Oh, there you go, JD. I think it might be coming. Except it doesn't exist. That's the thing.
Doesn't exist, right? But we
Yeah.
need to release them.
It says right here, remember when we learned that our wealthiest and most powerful people were connected to a guy who ran a literal child sex trafficking ring, and then that guy died mysteriously in a jail, and now we just don't talk about it? This is JD Vance, September 4th, 2021.
Yeah, and guys, I don't think it was suicide. If you go on Tubi, the movie channel, there's some pretty awesome documentaries, and I don't think it was suicide, guys. I think it was murder in jail.
Wow. I like that post. What's the possible interest will the U.S. have for that list? Sure. I can see that from here.
Oh boy, he's in trouble. That's really what it comes down to. Eric
Well, this
Daughtry
may just be the
breaking-
beginning.
Yeah, right here says Derek Daughtry posting VP JD Vance just torched the Wall Street Journal for the bombshell Epstein story against President Trump. Wow, he just decimated whatever credibility was left. Forgive my language, but this story is complete and utter bullshit, said Vance. The Wall Street Journal should be ashamed for publishing it. Where is this letter? Would you be shocked to learn they never showed it to us before publishing it? Does anyone honestly believe this sounds like Donald Trump?
Yeah, well, like Joseph said at some point, they needed probably the authorization at some point to get that letter on the media. So that's why it took that long, if that's the case. But yeah.
Well, Rick, you make a good point. I think old Elon Musk is working the algorithm or whatever you call it behind the scenes, tweaking it, pushing it up.
He might be. He just might. I wouldn't put it past him. So here's a bunch of pictures. Many, many pictures out there of Trump with Epstein. And very embarrassing. There's another one. This is in London, England, activists posting this picture on bus shelters. Oops. You guys up? There we go. I made a mistake. Okay, I think we lost your feed. Let me get you back up on the screen here so that everybody can hear you. Sorry about that, guys. We lost you on the screen and your audio. Restoring the feed. There we go. Now everybody can hear you again.
Well, you know, Prince Andrew had a pretty chummy relationship with Epstein.
Apparently. Yeah. Lifestyles of the rich and famous. Nasty stuff, guys. Very nasty.
Well, that's one heck of a story tonight, guys. Breaking news.
Oh, yes. It certainly is, isn't it? Yeah, I think it's a bombshell. I think that I think Trump is in trouble because of this. I think this is a really key moment in the development of this story. I think this might be the beginning of the end of Trump. Maybe. I can't say for sure. Anything can happen. He has a lot of Teflon on him, but this certainly eroding his support, a chink in his armor, a big scratch in that Teflon, some of it coming off. There's blood in the water and the sharks are circling. You're seeing so much on social media, and the attacks, especially from the Democrat side, just vicious tonight.
And guys, I don't think this is going to go over really very well with Melania, the First Lady of the United States of America. I bet you that's not going over good behind the scenes in the old White House.
Well, politics is a blood sport. So, guys, I think that we've kind of given this enough coverage for tonight. I'll throw it over to you first, John, for a final thought, and then Dragon can wrap up for us.
Well, thanks for the invite on tonight. Love from Alberta, guys. And yeah, awesome show. Thanks to Joseph for being on too.
Yeah. Okay. Dragon, take it away, sir.
Well, guys, I just hope you keep your eyes peeled and you don't look any further than the truth where the Maverick is, because this is where we at. And American people that listen to us, please just keep it cool and don't get involved into any shady stuff, because I know it's frustrating that probably it's not the way it's the way that you want it, but don't get involved into shady stuff. Just stay at home, take a little beer, and just enjoy the good time.
Keep your panties on, Dragon, and not your electric one. Keep your panties on.
All right, and I would just say this to wrap things up tonight, guys, is all the anti-Trump people out there, the people who hate him, you got to think of it this way too. You better be careful what you wish for, because you might just get J.D. Vance. I'll be back tomorrow night, 7. You think about that. Okay. I'll see you back here tomorrow night, guys, 7 p.m.
Cheers.
Eastern on the
flip side.
Flip side.
I heard old Cosmo howling last night up on the hill where the moon shines so bright. He was singing a tune, lonesome dogs cry about freedom, running and touching the sky. If I leave here tomorrow, would you still remember me? Cosmo's free. Cosmos free, running wild, wild as a wind can be. He's a free dog. He's a free dog. He's a free dog. So if you're feeling lost, just think of Cosmos Run. Remember his spirit, his freedom, his fun. And maybe one day, when you're feeling low, you'll find your own freedom and let your spirit go. If I leave here tomorrow, would you still remember me? Cosmos free, running wild, wild as a wind can be. He's a free dog. He's a free dog. He's a free dog. His eyes, the wind in his fur, a tail that wags like it's never heard a bird, a heart full of love and a spirit so free. He's living his life wild and carefree. He's got the stars in his eyes, the wind in his fur, a tail that wags like it's never heard a bird. Cosmos on a journey, he's got no chains. He's running through fields, breaking all the lanes.
This has been a Maverick Multimedia production.